Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Tito. TTD Tito.
You gotta retire that dance too. That's the bunny hop.
Oh, what he doing over there? What is he doing over there? You better stop it.
All right,
All the way
welcome
down.
to another episode of the Black Super Friends. I am the Horace Towns, joined by my best friends that we like to call the Black Super Friends. Woo! Well, listen, we had a soundtrack to do today, so we chose a song that we don't have to pay royalties for. Shout out to TTD Tito for that hit song. Jeffrey Leday from Code Red tuned in. Thank you for joining us tonight. Your last podcast was crazy. It was bananas.
He went berserk on ours last time too.
Yep. With the facts though.
With all facts.
Yeah, that's 100 for sure. All right, Chris, you guys all set up, so we're ready to go for another episode. Starting off the show, I want to introduce my cast here, my best friends, the Black Super Friends, all wearing their legendary apparel tonight. Y'all look good, dudes.
You ain't lying.
No homo.
Black on black in black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all right. At the bottom, I'm going to start with my first panelist, Super Mario Senior. Please say the senior.
Please. Don't get confused with the junior.
All right, next I'm going to Zay Bigelow, better known as the ladies man.
That'll be Leon Phelps. Thank you very much. How y'all doing, ladies?
Well,
gentlemen.
I'm glad that you now embracing it. Thank you, sir. All right, and last but not least, I'm going to the man that I like to call the man I love to call every week because we're having a grammar about it here. Okay. The one I like to call the sponsor killer. Sing Chris.
Thank you, my brother. That's King Chris spelled incorrectly on purpose. Tell Buddy Love how he's doing, Sherman.
Then you laughed pretty hard on the bottom.
That was a good one. I ain't see that one coming.
All right.
That was a good one.
You're going to have technical difficulties.
As long as I don't run it up the hole, we're going to be all right.
I'm going to come right after that.
Yeah.
No sweet meat, though.
Okay.
Listen, y'all done threw me off, dog. Hey, first off. Oh, man, that's crazy. Let me get to the topics. Now, first off, we are big on black business. We're big on small business, but we're big on black business. And every week we go with a sponsor who helps us pay the bills. And in turn, they get some free promotion. They get some good advertising. The Black Super Friends podcast is trending pretty high. We love you. We just spoke with Apple, so we'll be coming to iTunes and the Apple family hopefully by the next podcast. So that's a big win for the fellas. Congratulations.
Are we leaving Spotify like Joe Budden?
Nah, but it's all about who's gonna get it check first.
All right.
Look for that.
Them bags.
Exclusive. But this week, usually I have a funny sponsor every week. But this week, I gotta say, this sponsor actually does wonders. I don't know if y'all see the black bag. It is Gandalf's Candles. Now, let me give you a review. Many of y'all have been on dates with women, and they do the thing where we don't understand some of the things they do, but you respect them. So when women go to these candle stores or they hear about the candle sale and they go in there and buy $100, $200 worth of candles, right, blows my mind. But, whatever makes them happy. So last month, I went to Gandalf's Candles, which is a local business out of Riviera Beach, I believe, Palm Beach County. And because every time we have a female guest on, we like to support them. So we did book giveaways. We've had giving away therapy. But this week we're highlighting Gandalf's Candles out of Riviera Beach. And I am personally telling you, this is amazing. This is one of the best things ever. So she don't have a slogan, and they're not really feeling my slogans, but I think it's going to be catchy. So To
What you
Gandalf's
got?
Candles, thank you. The one I wanted to give them, they weren't feeling.
What you got for him though? I got his test run.
Test run?
Yeah.
Even if your house is dirty, it can still smell clean. Gandalf's Candles.
Okay.
That was it?
Yeah.
I can see where they
I see what he went to the drawing board there.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
Go back. Yeah.
Even if your house dirty, it can still smell clean.
You could have said Purdy. You could have said anything.
Just
Clean.
Dirty. If your house dirty, it ain't gonna smell good.
I'm saying
Gandalf's Candles had that thing smelling like Hawaii and Walkerwood.
Yeah, I mean it's no
We're gonna work on it.
really Rib Shack slogan, but
Yeah,
whatever.
definitely. Sweet meat.
Well, honestly, that product there gets our endorsement. It gets my endorsement because it is what's the word I'm looking for? Economical, and I think it rivals right up there with the other companies. It actually smells that good. So Gandalf's Candles, if you tune in tonight, please give y'all information because I'm telling you, it's A1, and it actually worked out for me. All right.
The massaging oil, you know, it melts down into a massaging oil too. Knew that, right?
You don't say.
Didn't know that. Oh man, come on. That's what made it so beautiful. It smells good. You can dip your hand in it. You can go ahead and get a lady a nice massage. Come on, man. How could you forget the most important part?
Yeah, I always know what you're supposed to do with all that leftover wax.
No, man. But this one you get to actually put it in motion.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Lessons from the ladies, man.
Yeah.
I learned. I was listening. I'm sorry.
From motion lotion to oils.
Hey, man. Gotta stay moisturized.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Said it too.
All right. Let me see. Let me go to our first topic for the night, for the week, guys. We usually look at social media together. We'll do group conversations throughout the week before we have production meetings. And one of the ones, we had 2 in 1 week. The trending meme this week was about date disputes. What was the date dispute? There were 2 different memes where a guy was on a date. And one meme was the guy was on a date. He was like, hey, you coming back? What you about to do? You coming back to the crib with me? And she was like, no, I'm good. He was like, split the check. And in the other situation, it was a guy that was on the first date, and she went and ordered all this stuff, and dude was like, listen, you spent $21.38. There go your portion when it came down. She gave the card and whatnot, but the whole conversation was because women were outraged. The conversation I asked you guys, you know, on a date, should a man pay the check on a date? And if so, and if not, when should he split the check? Those are things you gotta, you know, there's a lot of Tyler Perry's and there's a couple guys that's business. So I'm going to the date doctor first because he's been all over the TV circuit this week. And you've really been changing lives, brother. So I really want to hear what you had to say on this topic.
Well, I appreciate you for the support. Check out that interview I did with Quinn Mitchell. It's really, really nice. Check that out. But okay, I'm a single dated man, so I speak from a single dated man perspective. I believe that a man should pay for most of the dates, if not all. Now, I'm not saying that you should be you should be wrestling with the woman about paying a check, but I think that you should, you know, go into the situation knowing that you should pay the check. Dating isn't easy or cheap, so you got to have that in your budget. All right, first of all, but we got to understand that dating has levels. You have the pre-smash level and then the post-smash level. Now, in the pre-smash level, the reason why I suggest you pay because you control all the environment. In the pre-smash level, you want to set the date, you want to set the time, you want to set the location, and you want to pay. Simply because you should have a social life. So you know where the nice bars at that's affordable. You know where the happy hours at the restaurants are. Again, you control the narrative. So you get in the pre-smash level, you want to keep your investments low. You know what I'm saying? I preach always do not treat first dates like a girlfriend. And I believe that they all first dates until you reach the next level, which is post-smash. Okay. So what I think is about splitting the check, I think that men has bad math when it comes to that. A lot of times men look at the final bill. Let's just for instance, say it's a $50 bill. Again, you want to keep your investments low. When you look at that bill, you look at the total bill. But honestly, you need to look at what did she consume of that bill. It's probably at the high end $30, at the low end 20. So if you don't have $30 to $20 to invest into this situation, bro, you really shouldn't be dating. You have to have a dating budget, at least at minimum $100 a week, I say. Now, what I think that you shouldn't do is be so wrapped up in her making an economic investment. You want her to make a time and effort investment, meaning you want her to get dressed and come to you. That's what you're trying to get. You want her to get an effort investment. You want her to get dressed. You want her to, look nice and come to you, because at the end of the day, when she gets dressed, it's a clear indication of her interest level to you. So if she come on a date looking like she's about to change somebody's carburetor or change a transmission, she's not really into you. Or if she come on there looking like she's about to hoop, she's not really into you. But if she come in there looking like what I call some easy taking offable clothes, you know that she's somewhat interested in you. Also, you want to make her come to you because of the time effort that it puts in. It makes her women appreciate their time much more than their money. Women pay for convenience fees all the time, so they really respect their time more than the money. And the last thing is, I have never ever in my life heard a woman get wet because she had to pay the check. Mario, what you got?
I 100% think you should pay for the check, because I think that if you can't pay for the check, then you're not gonna get no respect. So one thing for sure, that date is over. The minute that I don't give a damn how good your conversation was going. I don't give a damn how debonair you look, how many weights you lift, or how many bridges you run. When you run out of funds, there goes the buns.
Yes.
I think that since you already made, like Chris said, a time investment, because you did something to get up, to go out, and to get ready for this date. I'm pretty sure most men did some research to find out what she kind of like, or what place would be set to move right for you to get back. So that means that you invested in this date too. So why would you do all this investment to get to the end of the night and do some boneheaded like fuck it up about a couple dollars? See, as men, we've always preached that you have to be self-sufficient. So you shouldn't be worried about a couple dollars anyway. Because if you can't afford to go on a date, then you need to go date yourself. And if you don't know what date
Wednesday,
it's definitely Wacky Wednesday.
Wacky is Wednesdays of the year. You need to be a member of that. Because if you can't pay for, like Chris said, $100, $200 date, then you shouldn't be going. And that's just the way I feel about that. Because if you're crabbing over money, you need to be getting on your hustle instead of be trying to lay up under something. Zay, what you got?
Shoot, I'm gonna tell you, like the old man under the tree told us, you're gonna pay for it one way or the other. So I don't understand how you felt like you weren't gonna have to pay for a date. That should be in the bill. Like you said, me and Chris are single. If I'm asking a woman out to eat,
you, Chris, and Horace.
Oh, my bad, Horace. I didn't mean to leave you out, my brother. You're right. But yeah, so you can't leave that money out. That's just a no-brainer. However, there is a time that you do split the bill, fellas. And I'm gonna tell you, if the friendship is plutonic, or if she feels entitled to this meal, a said meal, because you gotta have, like my brother said, a budget in mind. See, if she hollering Ruth Chris, and we're in the pre-date, you just getting to know, and she telling you about all these requirements that you need to date her, she better come with her pocketbook in tow. I'm just saying.
Can I interject? I got a question.
Go right ahead.
So I'm sorry, Horace, but I just want to ask this question, because see, that's when I get a little confused, because I think you should know the woman you're talking to. So right now, because the woman gonna give you hints on what kind of stuff she want, if you're a man who listen. So when she's screaming at Mr. Child and Ruth Chris and Salt Bay Restaurant, that's what she want. So then you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? Because once you sign up, you should still pay the check. Once you sign up and ask her to go on a date, and you sign up for that, to me, you still should pay. Because to me, I'm gonna just exit stage right if I don't feel like that's the quality of, I don't feel like investing into you that much. So I think you should make the investment from the beginning.
as we were saying, there's a time when you do. But you're right. Some guys want to go on that date just that bad. You need to make that upfront.
Whoa.
I guess is what I'm basically trying to say. Make that upfront.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But definitely, I feel like a man should, if he takes her on a date, pay for that bill. There are times when the woman's gonna pay for a bill. Fellas, don't be that uptight. Let that woman invest into you some too. Don't miss your blessings, because it is some guys who, oh heck no, I ain't letting no woman. Heck yes, let her, because she's trying to show you some effort too. So that's a time when you can split a bill, or you can sit back on one. You look perturbed at what you gonna say, Chris.
I mean, I just feel like a lot of times when they do pay the bill, it puts them in their feminine energy. And if you dating, I mean their masculine energy. So if you're dating, I think that you always want to. The goal is to try to keep her in her feminine energy. So again, I think, like I said, it's tiers to it. It's pre-smash, post-smash. I believe that if you already rocking with her, you know what I mean by rocking with her, ain't nothing better than steak and sex. So yes, those dates then are so much better because they end in nightcaps. But
also too though, Chris, don't never negate a woman trying to show you that you're worth it. Don't you understand what I'm saying?
Word.
If she's going to do that, let her. You can still have steak and sex. She can show you that she appreciates you and pay the bill. But should a man come out off the draw, splitting the bill? No, not if he's trying to get some honey. I'm not going to agree with that.
Let Horace interject.
What you say, too?
No, I'm just gonna say this old dog don't chase cars like he used to. And
man,
y'all know I'm gonna eat good. There's a difference between sirloin and ribeye.
Hey, all right.
You gonna split the bill up on him?
We do know that.
Yes, and at the restaurant.
There's only two female friends that I have that I'm gonna pay the bill for if ain't no tap on the whap. Listen, if you get me to that point, I'm paying the bill. If we go out somewhere, I'm gonna pay the bill. The key with me is getting to that point. Y'all know my levels. I meet somebody, she come in the DM, we're gonna have a phone call. And if God bless me enough, we're gonna have a FaceTime. That is also important in this era. But if we get somewhere where I feel like conversation at least decent, we got a good vibe, I go out to dinner. I'm going out anyway. So, what's missing from some good conversations and some whap on tap. But you got to get me to dinner because I eat good by myself. But I just, in this era, man, it just seemed like a lot of entitlement going on. So,
see, I guess I would, because I'm a dating fool. Like, before I got married, dating was my life. I like to date. I like to go places. I like to do things. I want to be everywhere. And what better to do it with than a woman? Y'all are my friend. But I don't want to do it with y'all. I want to do it with them. So you thought you won by getting a date out of me? Au contraire, mon chéri.
I was gonna do that anyway.
But that's my whole thing. That's my whole thing. You should be doing what the fuck you want. I mean,
right.
You should be doing what you want to do anyway. This should be the bar that you hang out at. This should be the happy hour that you know about. This should be the pool hall that you know about. This should be you should have a regular social life as a single man. I think that's it's the most important thing to have a actual social life, because that is what will attract women to you too. Because they're not gonna come and knock on your door unless you're as attractive as Horace here that gets it, and he gets that kind of treatment. But most of us got to get out in that jungle and hunt. We have to do it.
I think that's why most men so apprehensive of dating nowadays too, because they don't have a social life. Like they just chase money and then they hang out and then they go home and they want to just fuck. So it's no in between. It's like it's no enjoyment. They don't know how to go to the bar, to the pool hall. They don't know how to do that. So when a woman asks them to go on a date, they so lost on what to do. It takes so much of them. They feel like for me to do this and do all of this, but it shouldn't be all of this. It should be easy. You want to go out somewhere? Cool. I know a bunch of places we can go. But when you don't know a bunch of places, it takes too much thought.
Yeah. Somebody in the comments, Swan said, sound like I want to be chased. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Well, what I got going on, I don't have the time I used to just to be going to, entertain somebody. Like you would actually have people, and I can't blame them because there's some dudes that's taking them doing, oh, I want to go to Chops and this and that. That's not a financial issue for me. It's a energy and time issue for me. So if I know we ain't on that level or it's not going to be, lucrative for me, no, I'm not wasting time. So I don't know if that sounds bad, but
But my
go ahead,
thing,
Chris.
but my thing is, why is it like it's okay? I understand. I don't know what she meant by chase, but why isn't it? Why is it so bad that we got as men we got to look down like it's something wrong with us for women to show high interest in us? That's the craziest thing to me. No, we should we should have women that show high interest in us. You should expect women to show high interest in you because you put in the work and you put in the time and you're a real man. You should expect that. I'm not saying that you got to be courted. I'm not saying that she had to propose to you, but goddamn, I ain't chopped liver over here.
You still got to be the shooter, I think is what she's saying, though, Chris. Maybe I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm thinking, as men, we're the hunters, so we got to shoot them, let them know that at least they on the menu or on the target, and then probably what you're saying can come
But
into
Zay,
play.
you know how it been to have a woman with extremely high interest on you. Which one did you enjoy better? Just keeping it real. The
You
one
gotta
that
Well,
you
go
had
for
more.
one
an
shit.
old man told me a long
You gotta
time
go
ago,
for
you
one
get the
one.
woman that like you, not the one
Yeah,
that you like.
there you
Or
go.
you get broke every
That's what
time.
I'm saying. That's what I'm.
All
It's
right.
so much easier. It's so much. All you got to do is get hotter chicks to like you. That's on you. That's on your self improvement. But it's nothing wrong with chicks wanted to like you and wanted to chase after you. I'm not saying that you don't supposed to. It should be an equal chase. We should be bumping the heads like rams into each other. We trying to get to each other. But
And
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
gonna.
say,
I don't
I'm not
know.
gonna negate the fact that that I'm not worth chasing. You got me fucked up.
God damn it, Zay, Chris.
there goes the
My
camera.
bad. My
Listen, my
bad.
question.
There go the
Here's
camera.
my question. Listen, ladies, this is all we're saying. Chris, we're gonna use Chris as an example. Chris is the hot commodity, right?
Mm-mm.
Every time somebody come off in the DM and they want to go out on a date, Chris is paying that tab, right? Not to say he can't pay that tab, but that gets to be expensive. So over the month, those dates could be, say he come up, he done spent 1,500 off movies and dates and all that stuff, even traveling back and forth. I'm just saying sometimes it can be, if he focused on doing other things, that can be, costly. Now, if she really vibing with him, Chris gonna bring her to the Chateau Chris, where she can dine in the finest accommodations. He gonna cook the turkey necks with the tomato sauce.
Probably. And she gonna
Voila.
love it. I like to
If you
call it the
really
meat
into
house.
him, oh wait
Delicacy.
a minute. See, this is where we going off course. Somebody said, hard as it costs to be the boss.
Man.
I'm not gonna act like Rick Ross tonight. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna
Oh.
fall through the.
Hey, but you know what though, Horace? I mean, well, Hardy, you had mentioned something where you said you don't understand how guys don't know that they're gonna be taking this woman out. And I think that it's something that's lost, which is courting. You don't have men like how they taught us, Uncle Sonny Boy, God bless the dead. Uncle Sonny Boy, you tell, hey man, tell a girl she's pretty behind the kneecaps. We like, what? You feel me? Bring us some flowers. Things like that. These guys don't do that. Only thing that's being brought forth is money. So they just figure, oh, I got a pocket full of money. That's with me. Or, you know what I'm saying? Whatever they're seeing on social media. And they're thinking that's the way to attract a woman, get into her DM. Internet pimps. That's what I call them. Because they in the DM, they don't know how to walk up to a woman and say, hey, how you doing? You look nice. I want to take you on a dinner date, if that's all right with you, whatever the case may be. However you spit it. That's not being done. So therefore, when it comes to a date,
it's not required. It's not required.
yeah,
it's working.
It's not required.
It's working.
It's working for them. Hey,
well, it's something that I said last week when I told them to look in the mirror. You feel me? It's what's being accepted of them. So therefore, you can't really ask for nothing more.
Like right now, on every platform, on every commercial, on every time you look at it is how much money. I don't want no broke nigga. Money. So instead of developing men to be men and to understand how to treat women, how to listen, how to do all the stuff that when you get past that money, you're gonna absolutely want. You focus on the money, and then know what you get? A rich dummy or a rich and sensitive buddy.
Insensitive, insensitive.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so now you got to do with the money, but then he don't have no other qualities, and you don't know that because you done been to you done been to Ruth Chris 10 times. You done been to Chanel stores. So when all that played out, and then now you finally home in a nice big ass house, and y'all sitting on the couch, and he like, what the fuck? I don't even like him. Like, we don't have nothing in common. Like,
No,
for real, you got all these Chanel purses, then you can't stay in the same room with a motherfucker for 1 minute because you really don't like him. You like what he did for you. And that's what the world coming into. That's why it's easy to date. Nowadays, all you got to do is have a little cash.
That's right. And be swaggerific.
And then you going home.
Or pretend to have cash for 4 weeks.
Oh, man.
Before you get what the voila. I see it all the time. Yeah. This image thing, man. Listen, boy, it's some good old magicians out here, boy. You know, you're in the Atlanta Mall, boy. They got the 5 set, the 2 chain set, $59.99, and jokers don't have no problem in the middle of the mall buying that Fugazi chain set. Everybody in the club with the Fugazi set on.
It works.
Hey, look,
it works.
When you go to a lake, it don't matter how good your bait is. It matter what the fish like.
They like that glimmery stuff.
You feel what I'm saying? It don't matter. You can go to the bait, best bait in the world, and you be like, man, look at that man over there. He went and bought them $20 shiners. But if the fish ain't right, you can take them shits back. Because if I got worms over here and they eating the motherfuckers out, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be the worm. So if he paid $1,500 and he paid $1,599.
Hurry up.
You put that gold in that and then trickle. My man, I'm so happy.
It's a win. It's a win.
I get a joy like a kid on Christmas when I see a nigga with a fake chain leave the club with a bitch so bad that he got her. I look at him across the club and say, my nigga.
She'll see the green on your shirt in the morning, my brother. She will see the green on your shirt in the morning. Gotta go.
Wait a minute, man. I gotta get to these comments because it's going longer than I thought, right? Hey, per se, I think if a woman like a man, she'll pay for a date pre-smash. If that caught on, that would change the dating landscape. You will see.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Go ahead and do that. I'm saying once the smashing going, then yeah, let's rock that like that. But
hey, you know, Gabrielle Union prayed for Dwayne Wade first date.
Yeah, look how it turned out.
Yeah, really.
Now they dress alike.
She was more manly than him. She had on the baggy, beautiful jeans.
Zay, she's the man in the relationship. Okay.
That's sweet.
Oh, look what Flower of Flavor say. 4 men and not one black woman advocate. But we don't say nothing about the View.
Period. That's your word, ain't it? Period.
All right. Courting should be on both sides. I don't expect you to pay all the time. I want to take care of you sometime.
Bet.
I wanted to tell y'all about this date I had about 2 weeks ago, but I saved it for after the show, where I was in there relaxing, feeling so relaxed, and a former boyfriend was out on the balcony singing and serenading like Keith Sweat. I thought I was pumped. I thought I was on a TV show. I'm talking about he could sing too, but there's a lot of hurt coming out those pipes. So,
oh, they killed you. Monique killed you, Horace.
What she did now?
Damn. That so.
What did she say?
Got it.
She said Horace won't wear a fake chain. He likes to drop the ATM receipt to someone else.
Yeah. Got her. It's mine. It's my ATM card. It's mine.
Sounds personal.
It does. But guess what? She came through the hard times.
I'm gonna say, man,
the university.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. All the stuff that we saying, all the flashing of money and the fake chains and all that kind of stuff, you're right. It's not gonna work on a real woman who understands and is dating for a purpose. But for all the people out there who looking for materialistic things to grab them or looking for a quick come up, that's what I'm talking about. I love when they got. I don't care what nobody say. Sing your hate them. It just does me right to see that. Because I say, if you looking, if this dude right here has a nerve to have on a fake ass chain in the club, and you just looking for the biggest chain, and you get the dude with the fake one, and you think you stoned, man, that's amazing right there, man. I wish I could see that every time I go to the club. I wish I could see that.
All slippers count.
My son say my pops had a date.
He
astonished.
hating.
Yeah, he out of control.
Them shots fired.
He had that 21st birthday and had a wild weekend.
Right now, he the walking frozen pork chop. So enjoy that year 21, son. All right, let me go on to topic number 2, which is interesting. It's going to be right up in the same alley because we're in an era where there's so many social media debates every week, and you'll hear women, really being progressive in this era, woman empowerment, women supporting women. And then you have an attack on men that I feel maybe it's media based, but it's circulated a lot. And the word that they're using is a term called toxic masculinity. And you oftentimes hear a woman say to a guy or, apply in a situation where a guy being too aggressive or a guy that's, being stern and doing stuff that we attribute to testosterone or just being a type A man is now labeled as toxic masculinity. Different people have different definitions for it. I had a lot of people that replied to our post on the Black Super Friends and was saying, absolutely, Black men are acting too macho and they show off, and it was a lot of stuff that they said. But women believe that toxic masculinity is a real thing. So I'm asking you guys, do you believe that toxic masculinity is a real thing? And if it is, what is your definition of toxic masculinity? I'm going to Mario first.
All right, so this is an interesting subject because we most of the time that word get thrown around is coming from a woman. So that's just amazing because I agree with most of the guys on this show, and I think I can speak for us by saying I do my best in my life, even though I have a daughter, not to tell a woman how to be a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to be a woman. I've never been a woman. I have no desire to be a woman. So I go by my day trying to talk to my fellows on how to be a better man. If I see a young man, I try to tell him how to be a better man or give thoughts along the way on how to be a better man. I might even ask him how to be a better married man. I inquire about men things because I'm a man. So it's kind of ironic that women are the authors of such a word and the creator of something that's pertaining 100% to men. So I couldn't even explain the word, but one thing I did look up toxic femininity, and it doesn't exist. So let me get this straight. The creators of toxic masculinity don't believe in such a thing as toxic femininity. I don't know about this subject right here. Zay, what do you feel? I just want to throw those facts out there that it's not a yin to the yang.
Right.
Let's see what Tudor got to say. I want to see what Horace got to say on this.
Well, I asked you about the term because oftentimes in this whole empowerment era, that's the first thing that I've seen when I'm in a group, even if it's on a business level or in a social capacity. When a guy is in a room with different women, they are shooting it out. Oh my gosh, he has so much toxic masculinity. Oh my God. And I was in a room, I won't call out the sorority, and I said, no, I actually think the problem that we're facing right now is feminism. And then, it was a group that got a little deep. And I was saying, we're in an era where we're not even recognizing the attack on Black men, but manhood, period. I said, LeBron's son last week was on IG Live smoking.
We don't know that.
He was allegedly, Xavier.
There you go.
Cannabis advocate. He was smoking a BB, which can be tobacco. Right? And they went off on LeBron. Oh, look at him, he's a father. But D Wade's son has on capris and bodysuits on at the age of 12, and they're applauding this young man. So I'm saying you guys aren't seeing that it's an attack on manhood.
Black manhood.
Go deeper. Men are a pinnacle of society. when I had a conversation with my son's mother, I was saying, hey, I know you love your son. I know you love him. But this is the same man that in the future you're going to be asking to protect you. The same young man that you're going to want to be a good husband to somebody, a good son to you. These are the man we was go to war. You want a good, solid man. I said in Roman times, especially on the movie 300, even at the age of I think 5 or 8, she loved her kid, but she would send her son off to the wilderness because he needed to learn how to be a man.
Yeah.
So now it's like in this attack. If you teach men how to be men, now you see more articles where you see women saying, "Oh, it's okay for you to cry. It's okay for you, to go out and explore your feelings. It's not, it's okay for you to do X, Y, Z without going into too many circles tonight, right?" And I'm saying that's maybe true, but why is it so hard for a man to be a man? What is so wrong with a man being what he was designed to be? So I have a problem with the word feminism. Toxic masculinity, what they described, I was like, you just got alpha males. Some dudes may have a lot of macho-ness. A lot of dudes may have a little more testosterone. But I just battle with the issue of toxic masculinity. Didn't mean to ramble on. I just have not seen it. And I'm looking for that definition, a good example of a definition for me to understand that to say it's valid. All right. So, Chris.
Well,
Actually,
I've said this.
go ahead.
I said this before. I've said this in another show. I said it on an interview. I don't believe in the word toxic masculinity. I don't believe that there's anything wrong with masculinity. Period. I don't think there's nothing wrong. And by definition, masculinity is only characteristics of
Oh,
of a man. That's it. So if you have a root word that has no ill intent, nothing's wrong with it, you can't throw toxic in front of it and make it bad. I give an example. Appreciation. There's nothing wrong with appreciation. So you can't throw toxic in front of it and call it toxic appreciation, and now it's all of a sudden a bad word. But I've had this conversation with women. Women disagree with me, so I talk to them and I ask them to describe it, to define it, describe it to me. What I think that they're describing is misogyny and chauvinism. Those are two different words, and I too can agree that misogyny and chauvinism isn't something that we should be in favor for. And I would love to have a conversation with with women about that, because I do think there's room for improvement in the way that we treat our women. I absolutely do. But I want to have a conversation. I don't want somebody just talking at me. I want to
At
have a
me, yeah.
conversation. I thought that our only job was to provide and protect for women, not become women. I don't think it's nothing wrong with a man being a man. I think that we should teach men not to harm women, not to physically harm women, not to be abusive to women. But you feeling whatever makes you feel manly, whatever makes you feel masculine, is nothing wrong. Don't break laws. Don't don't rape. Don't kill. Don't do those things. But you can feel however you want to feel. There's nothing wrong with that, and no one that haven't even had the experience can tell you there's something wrong with you just being manly or masculine. That's all I got, Jose. What you got?
I do feel like it's an attack at toxic masculinity. I actually wanted to ask, like, who actually came up with it? Was it, toxic masculinity where they were just attacking black men? Or is that as of late that we're just hearing a lot of women, because we deal with mostly black women, throwing it out that it's toxic masculinity in the pool of dating, maybe, whatever the case may be. Um, when it comes to masculinity, you do have men that are very, very manly men, who feel certain ways. I don't think that that's something that should be thrown. Like you said, Chris, it should be a conversation. I don't think that women should be talking at men, telling them this toxic masculinity thing. But however, they should be having a conversation with them or letting them know how they feel about a certain situation, that they feel that man is being overly manly about. Maybe. What you gonna say, Chris?
What I'm saying is this. I'm speaking specifically as black men.
Right.
Okay. As for our masculinity, we have to have power behind our masculinity. Besides physical harm, we don't hire at that rate. We don't choose the pay rate. These are the things that women fight for. That's kind of beyond our control. So if we want to talk about masculinity, let's talk about the people that's in power that show that their masculinity and their beliefs. Because I think it's here. It's not masculinity. It's how you look at women. That's what needs to change. Your mindset towards women. If you think that women is beneath you, that's similar to racism. But
Right.
the thing that, but racism doesn't matter. Racism doesn't hurt you unless the person that's inflicting it has power. I don't think that us as black people, as black men, have enough power to inflict our toxic masculinity or so-called toxic masculinity. So I don't think that fight is on us. Do I believe that we need improvement in the way that we conduct ourselves around our
There you
women?
go.
Yes, absolutely. There's room for improvement on both sides, but I'm only talking about men. Yes, there is room for improvement, but I don't think it should be an attack on masculinity. I don't think
So
there's nothing wrong
right
with it.
back to what I was saying, that conversation needs to be had where if you're dealing with a woman and she feels a certain way, she needs to be able to talk to you, not at you, like you said. There are some, I do feel that there are some toxic traits that men possess as it comes to women, or even as it comes to tutelage, because they're asking, or I think that what they're saying when they're saying toxic masculinity, like it's something that's being pushed down. But however, we're being taught, I guess is the best way that I want to get it out, by guys who really don't know how to be sensitive.
Mhm.
So the women that are feeling that they want us to be sensitive at those times are telling us you're doing toxic masculinity. Well, we've been taught to be rough and tough and to protect and provide all our life. We don't know that sensitive side. You got to have a conversation with that man. Don't just try to call that man and tell him he's toxic, because you're going to lose. If your goal is to keep him, or even be with a man, you got to learn how to communicate with that man and let him know some of these things that maybe that's not in the best interest of you. If you want to have a relationship with a woman, to keep carrying on in that manner, you can be tough. I'll let you take that lead or that manly position of at the head, but I don't like it a certain way. And if that man is fooling with you like that, he gonna curtail some of that activity. But I don't think it's right for you to run around and label it as toxic. That's how I view
Yeah.
that. What
Yeah.
you got, Art?
Well, listen. Here go the dangerous part about that. If men were toxic, right? Men are
Mm-hmm.
having kids. What is that toxic man gonna allegedly teach another a child of his own?
The same.
He's pouring into another child. But my point is with feminism, manhood has to be embraced. It has to be supported. It has to be understood how valuable it is. Simply because, again, if man is the pinnacle of society, especially in the homes, in the families, in the communities, feminism is gonna have you sitting around with a bunch of confused males, not men, confused males with identity issues.
Yeah.
And now, then you get in the point where like, oh well, we went wrong, but the damage has already been done.
Thanks.
So I think a lot of times we have to look at, because again, out of all the men in the world, the focus has always been on black
Like
men.
man.
Black men, because black men are the impact they're gonna have on the black family and the black home, their relation to black women. So that's what we have to understand. It's still a war out here. So
We in
I
it
want to say
together.
too, if we using our platform to kind of teach and empower each other, right? Women, take this toxic masculinity thing on a case by case basis with dudes. All right. If you're getting into a relationship with that person, whether it be friend or whether it be for love, and that individual is possessing those characteristics that you call toxic masculinity, how about you talk with that man about that? Talk through it with him, and probably you'll come to understand why he's that way, or he'll probably come to understand why he needs to tone it down just a tad bit in that area and still not lose his masculinity.
Well,
But
But we
but
also got to be. We also got to start with the women that's closest to us.
true,
I don't want us to use the word. I hate to use the word check, but I actually have conversations with my sister a lot, and we have to go back and forth with things like this. So you
right,
got to respect the women in your life. You got to respect if you're a father of a daughter. There has to be a line that you don't cross. I mean, you can get close or whatever, but there's a line that you don't want to cross. I just feel like whatever you may be, you get a chance to be. You get the chance to be that way. They think about the guys on Duck
thanks,
Dynasty. They're just that way. That's how
right,
they live. That's how they believe. That's what they think. if they're not harming anyone, if they're not causing physical or abusive pain to somebody, if they're not trying to oppress anyone, how is it? Why is it people can think and feel the way they want to feel, as long as they're non-violent towards you?
And don't
That's what
use
I'm saying.
toxic, Monique.
Mm.
Got to find another word. I think that word is too trendy right now, and it does trigger me because it's a negative connotation. So we got to find better ways to talk to each other, converse, like we were saying.
If a
Right.
woman's gotten to the point where they told you that you are toxic, it is over. Interesting. Um, Another comment: all this is propaganda, social media, welfare, all designed to break up the home. It's okay to let a man lead. Submissive and subservient, big difference. I want to go back to a comment from a male, Terrell McCrae. Men are the pinnacle of society with a question mark.
He
We will
checking
get
you
there.
on that one.
And now I stand by that. I challenge him to look up the definition of pinnacle, but
Don't get him started, please.
I do.
Rile them
Um,
up.
yeah, rile them up. Um, well, before we close out, we go to the meat and potatoes, and first topic went way more than I thought it would.
Yes.
Um, but I wanted to actually have a conversation with us, and my hope and my goal. If you guys remember, I did radio for about 3-4 years, and it was a political show. I met a lot of senators, governors, president, and people through that radio show. Um, and my hope and my goal is tonight to get people mentally able to hear and respect different points of view without having a big divide. Black people, we find ways to be divided. Um, Terrell got me thrown off. But I say tonight, we're already divided as Black people. We have issues with unity amongst Black people. And it amazes me that we allow politics to divide us more. And I told someone today, us arguing over Democrat and Republican, to me, looks like a group of people standing in front of the plantation having an argument. You still on the plantation. To my African American community, whether you Democrat or Republican, please understand that in America you're Black and you're oppressed. You can get it systematic or you can get it traditional, however you want it. Things haven't changed. With that being said, this week Donald Trump unveiled what I call the Black Plan. He called it the Platinum Plan, and it is supposed to be $500 billion for Black America. And I'm going to go and give you some because people are outraged. You had people, oh, it's just a political ploy. Oh, he's just putting it outside now. And I was like, even in the midst of that, don't go off what the media shows you. Did you take time to read it for yourself? Did you actually take time to say, let me see what he's proposing? Because someone else made a point on this panel. Before the end, when I looked at it, I actually said, well, to be honest, I haven't seen anybody else propose anything. Go ahead and send me the hate mail. Obama, Bush, Clinton, the first Black president y'all labeled. A lot of stuff that we're hearing about now that they're scared of anarchy in our country, now all of a sudden we're getting a lot of stuff proposed to us that we should have been receiving, So now his plan, and listen, we're not validating or we're not endorsing any party tonight. We're just having a conversation. And we cannot be in here, because I'm going to tell you in the comments, somebody called me Uncle Tom. Hey, this radio boy only goes so far, I swear to God.
Now they gonna do it just to do it.
I had to read right in it, boy. All right. In President Trump's plan, this is the thing that stood out for me. And I'm like, out of all the presidents we had, why is this even why are we just hearing this as a possibility? So again, this is just a proposal. If he signs it into law or it becomes law, it's a win for Black America. We take our wins how we can. Designate the KKK and Antifa, which are the hate groups in our country, as terrorist organizations. By doing that, it changes a lot of the charges that come when you see these police-involved shootings and you find out they got a racist background. To be a terrorist organization, that changes everything. Second, he will make lynching a national hate crime. That is huge. Propose. Second, America's about money. Whether you black or white, it's all about green. Increase access to capital and black communities by $500 billion. Fourth, he will declare Juneteenth a national holiday.
Mhm.
Five, Black America will seek to create 500,000 new black-owned businesses and 3 million new jobs. And he will close all failing schools and replace those schools with choice and educational opportunity. Now, I will say one thing before I pass to you guys. The only thing that I stood out with it, because these are proposals. If he run with it, I can deal good because I ain't had nobody propose nothing before. But the thing that scares me about the capital going to the black community, the stimulus money, we just seen how that went. A lot of black businesses, small businesses, period, did not get those funds that was supposed to came to us, right?
Yep.
So if he's gonna put $500 billion into the community, I need somebody to be a agent that's gonna actually make sure those get to the communities. Second of all, it'll be good, but our community's already overtaken. You know, the black community is so poor, but it can't be poor if on every corner you have Arab, Chinese, and foreign store that's
Okay.
making a crap load of money in our own communities. So if we was to get some money, where we gonna open up these stores in? Because they own them. So where we gonna set up these new businesses at? So I said all of to say that conversation. These are proposed, but this could be a possible win, and ain't nobody proposed this before. The only counter that I seen this week was Kamala said if she was president, not VP, she said as president she will forgive Pell Grants and student loans. But between Joe Biden and Kamala and a whole lot of people running, y'all been in office 20, 40 years. So at some point, I'm saying as black Americans, man, people just selling us dreams. At what point do we do what's best for us? So with all that being said, man, I wanted to get y'all thoughts on that, on the Trump plan. Chris, I'm gonna go to you first.
Okay, so the platinum plan. I think here at the Black Super Friends podcast, we want to present an unbiased, unemotional way of transferring the information. We don't support. We don't advocate for either side, Democrat or Republican. We think they all birds of the same feather, but our job is to give you the information. And just like Horace pointed out, a lot of the event opportunities on that plan, I want to point out some of the ones that I've seen. 300 million in new jobs, 5,000 in new black businesses, 500 billion in access to capital for those businesses. I always preach about black economics and black entrepreneurship, so that's very, very important to a lot of us on this, to all of us on this cast. I also heard him say something about, this is the words, highest standard of policing. Now, I don't know what that means. I would like to have a better definition of that. I don't want a bunch of words. Fairness in the criminal justice system. Again, those are words. That's not legislation. That's not, I don't know what that means. The things that he said also rewrite wrongful prosecutions, which is good for us because a lot of us have been victims of the criminal justice system. Also, he said something about the clemency laws. All of these things are great. What I would suggest, what I would caution us on is his supporters. Now, this is his supporters hasn't got the wall that he was promised 4 years ago. So I think that that's something that you need. If he hasn't provided for his supporters, that's something that you should be cautioning yourself on. I also feel like I question, why hasn't it been done yet? The president is a Republican. The majority House, the Senate majority is Republican. The House is Congress. Is Democrat. But if he wanted to get some of these laws done, I'm sure that the Democrats wouldn't oppose this. That would look terrible on them. So if he wanted to get this done, I don't see what's the haste of doing it. Basically, doing a quid pro quo. I hope I said that correctly.
Right.
Well, I give you something, he give you, you give me your vote, I give you this, or you give me your vote first, and I give you that. Which we should ask for the same thing, but y'all need you to give me that first, and then I give you my vote. Also, here's the thing. Whenever people say, for example, Black Lives Matter, a lot of people this met with all lives matter. So his supporters, I find it strange that his supporters hasn't spoke up about a plan that's specifically for black people. When if you say Black Lives Matter, the first thing out of a lot of his supporters' mouth is all lives matter. So it's funny to me that he came out and make a plan directly for us, but it's not been no opposition to it from his supporters, and that's something that I think that we need to really need to look into. But on the other end, I think that what we should do is use this as leverage. We should use this as okay. The Republicans is offering this. We should say okay. Well, for the Democrats, if you want our vote, we need equal or greater value than this. And that's what I think. I think we should use this as leverage. This is the barometer. This is the stick, the meeting stick, where we say, okay, well, this is what they offer. Will you give us more for our vote? Because what happens, what we don't understand about the political system is this. What people do is they group together, they pool their resources, and they invest into a candidate. That's called lobbying. We at a unique time where we can circumvent that, not have to use the money. We just have to leverage our votes. So I think that it's important to hear what's being said in an unbiased manner, and if you're a Democrat, we're not trying to change you, but I think that you should ask Kamala Harris and Joe Biden about how can they match it or make it greater. Mario, what you got? I went on a little while.
Y'all covered some good points, and I had a lot at first. We had talked about this previously, but as I mulled over this the last couple of days, I had thought about a lot of stuff y'all said too, and it brought me to a point of like the first point of what Tootie said is this a proposal. So people in the audience brought this up too. There's a lot of talk going on about what can happen and what can't happen. So as I begin to look at the past and seeing people put up proposals all the time, this happens. It's getting closer and closer to the election date. So you put up this lipstick on a pig to portrait out on the stage to say, "Hey, this is what I'm gonna do for y'all if y'all vote. If this is this, it's just another broken promise from a political party that I don't trust at all. That's Democrats or Republicans." So when I thought about this plan, I thought about at the end of the day, it don't matter. Just to be realistic with you, it don't matter until it actually matters. Because right now it's just a proposal. If I see it go through, then I'll take some more in looking into it and think some more about it. But right now, to me, it's just a ploy to get more people to come to their side to grab more votes. And that's all I think of it. Because one thing we do know about our president and presidents of the past, they talk a good game. And right now, we emotionally get tied or buy in to that talk, and then we cast our vote that way. But right now, I agree with what Chris said on another level. Like, why are we so focused on what they're saying and instead of what they're doing? Like, what are you going to do? So I'm going to wait to see what anybody, Kamala, Biden, Trump, I don't care if it's anybody. I just want somebody to really do something. Or let me see an inch. Like Tudor said, if it go into a proposal, I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care what people say. If he make the KKK a terrorist group, that's one step in the right direction. Yeah. And you can call me what you want. I'm gonna say he has done this for us. And just anybody do it. So I just want to see something before I go and get all emotionally tied up like I normally do, and people around me who normally do. You know what I'm saying? And then say I'm gonna just sit back and look. Say what you got.
I'm quick. Y'all are bigger on the politics than I am. I look at it and I see it for what it is. It's 41 days before election day. To me, it's a last ditch effort. It's a damn good one. You know what I'm saying? Shot that he's making and some of the things that he's trying to bring to the forefront for us. But I did take a look back into Donald Trump some as well and kind of look at some of the things that he has been doing as it pertains to Black people. So, as we talked a little bit before, he funded Jesse Jackson's both times that he ran for the White House, right? In the 80s, he was behind equal opportunity. Even the people that he's putting into place in his cabinet, like the Air Force has Charles Brown, and then the lady, which is the first Black woman in. So what I see with Donald Trump is and what we all see, he's trying to make a name for himself. So we can't rule it out that he won't. Yes, he is. A lot of talk we know because the wall, i.e. the wall. You feel me? We ain't seen that yet. But at least he is striding in the right direction. And I think, like Chris said, it's time for us to hold his feet to the fire to actually do something. You see what I'm saying? But at least he's making that collective effort versus Biden. Well, we know what he did 94. We know what he did 77. You know what I'm saying? As far as that crime bill in 94, which messed a lot of our family members and Black men up, or brown people as well. And then 77, I think, is when he did the anti-busing, where he made his declaration that they were quick to put back online, to rub in his face. I think he's going to do what Hillary did, which is snub itself out because of actions they made in the past, which is going to make Donald Trump look like a shining pillar, even though he doesn't know how to control his mouth and the things that he says at the times that he says it. But one other thing is, that Donald Trump is a millionaire, billionaire, one of the two, right? When you start dealing with people who have money, they are black and white. They have any gray area. So they kind of say some things that are not right. Doesn't mean that their intentions are ill. So you got to do your research, see what's going to be the best choice for you, and don't lean on that Democrat, Republican crap.
Absolutely.
Hold some people to the fire, see what their objectives and goals are, see if they are in alignment with what you want for your kids, because we're going to be gone, and go forth with your vote.
Well, this is the biggest thing I want. This is the biggest thing I want people to take from us, our listeners. The media is owned by the same three people. When you go to war, if you ain't got no communication, you're gonna get mollywopped. Just like we complain about these shows and these negative images on the TV, that comes from the media companies. So this is what I want us to stop doing as people. We get so emotional about, Trump said this and Biden said that every day. There are people that I want to say you could be using your energy a lot wiser than getting swayed by a news headline every day. And to be honest, if you go on Fox, they're going to have one story. If you go on the other one's going to have another story. At the end of the day, if you ain't in the 1%, you out here with everybody else. Right. Now, at first I was like, well, the good thing is we've never been presented with an opportunity to escape poverty. It's just a proposal.
Right.
But now I'm at a point where with black votes being so critical, we're not taking less no more. You got to show us something. Like Chris said, okay, this is what he proposed. Democrats, what y'all got? Because for the last, whether it was Obama, whether it was Bush, Clinton, before, we just gave our votes away and we have not advanced economically in this country where it counts at. Right. Like I said, I don't do the arguments on Facebook and social media with people because you have a right to do what you want to do. I'm just saying, just know the media has a role in it too. So instead of reading the headline, actually read the story once, because you'll see a headline and you will go out into an argument and look crazy. When I tell people, F the presidential election. The man running this country is a racist guy called Mitch McConnell, who just won an election illegally, but that's who's running your country. That's the same guy that's gonna say, I don't care who president, everything come through here. And most people don't even know who he is, right? So while we run over there talking about Biden is the answer, listen, I'm not endorsing him because I've been in politics a long time. I remember when Biden was a segregationist to the core, segregationist, where he didn't believe in black kids and white kids going to the same school. This man fought it until almost the 90s. His crime act was the one. He's the real architect of mass incarceration. Yeah. So how will you keep running back and forth? Like, again, us arguing amongst each other about the presidential election, a picture, a bunch of slaves in front of a plantation arguing about different policies or arguing about stuff. We still on the damn plantation. And economically,
I
we
think you
need,
worded it as a union meeting in the
yeah,
pre-show.
Yeah.
union meeting. We ain't even trying to get out the plantation. So right
Oh,
now, Black America deserves to be selfish. No more killing us. No more poverty for once. Because we $1 trillion in spending power. That's shame on us. We spend $1 trillion in this country. Take them dollars and redirect them. So I don't want to go on a rant. But we got to do better, but we have to demand better. We cannot allow them in this country to go election to election, just telling us whatever, and we feeling like, no, hell no. What you about to say, Zay?
I was gonna say, for the ones who are running for the Biden Kamala Harris ticket, with Mitch McConnell there, he gonna run into the same thing that Obama ran into.
Ain't getting
That
done.
that door stopper.
Yeah.
You feel me? So Rick Ross might be right when he said he glad that Donald Trump was president. You know, you gotta destroy it before we elevate. And he gonna tear this bitch up. I think so. So I don't know, man. But if he do a quarter of the things that he proposed, man, that's a step in the right direction. And like you said, with our votes, if we hold his feet to the fire and let him know that our votes aren't cheap, we might be able to get some things done. We might.
But
Bro,
I also
he definitely destroying it, but are some opportunities coming through this?
Yeah.
We got to look at, no matter who, we got to go, and for once, Black people have our own plan and get what we can get for ourselves. Listen, in the next 3 months, the economy due to COVID has been so crappy, you actually will be able to buy a house if you've been saving for the cost of a house.
You know what's
What is
sad
the
too?
stock market favorable? Yes. I'm saying we back there down there in the 80s again, maybe even 2000. So there's some opportunities that came from chaos. So I'm like Rick Ross, sometimes you got to destroy it from within.
Guess what though, too? You made a mention of something. You said the what was it, 500 billion or 500,
Yeah.
yeah, something. The money that you said that they're gonna cut loose to the Black economy or to the Black American economy.
Allegedly.
They just did stimulus, and you know you made a joke about that, but they know that too. Like you said, what our $1 trillion spending habit is, they know that money going right back in the economy.
Absolutely.
Because they not taught how to wealth build, how to put it in the business. Well, they going to the Gucci store, they going to go get the Benzes, the Cadillacs, and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And
but
it's
Zay, a
right
lot
back
of
in the
us didn't though.
economy
Zay.
right back up. So they ain't really lose.
But a lot of us
So,
didn't though, Zay. We gotta shed. A lot of us didn't though. We gotta shed light on the Black people that didn't do that. We love to shed light on the people that's gonna abuse it, but there's a lot of people that didn't abuse it, that started a business, that started the idea. Just like with home with the housing and everything. We talk about the women or the families that abuse it, but a lot of families has used it as a stepping stone and moved it up to prosperity. So I think we need to start. I think we need to start showing celebrating the victories also as much as we talk about the negatives. I think that at the end of the day, man, we have to take it on ourselves too. Regardless, the election is 41 days away, right? But the
Right.
rest of the rest of our lives is everything after 41 days and after. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of who the president, we have to take this energy that we are possessing right now and focus on us and do better with us. We have to stop the victim mentality. We have to start to save ourselves, and that's from us, from one another, our interactions with each other. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't make a difference because if it's Joe Biden, if it's Donald Trump, we have to start saving ourselves. We have to start teaching our kids what we want to teach our kids. Ashley Napier says change the narrative, and I completely agree with that. Let's start taking it on our own, especially us as fathers, man, especially us as Black men as fathers. Let's set the tone. We no longer accepting excuses. We no longer you know what I'm saying, playing victim to nobody. We got to start using words differently. Let's stop saying oppressed, even though it may be the case. Let's stop talking in a victim mindset. Let's stop saying, "Oh, I can't breathe, my hands up." Now we start saying, "Well, hey, you mess with us, we shoot back." You know what I'm saying? Let's start having some of that toxic masculinity come out because that's what the hell we need. We gotta grow our nuts, man. Hard, I see you've been down there quiet, man. I know you got a lot to say. Talk to me.
No, I'm listening because I really don't because I feel like what I'm probably gonna say people don't like, but it's just real. Like right now, the last part, what you said is how I live my life. People ask me, how you gonna change? Know what my method is? Me being better. First, I start with me. And then I go out and say, how every day can I make a difference? And how could I help somebody? So I started to look for Black businesses. I start educating myself more. I start building business. I tell every one of my friends, every loophole, every nugget of information I get, I send it. If I find out something on, I'm in the housing market, anything about credit, I just send it, and stop being a crowd. Like, that's the thing. We as a people, we crowds. Like, it started there. That's why that's why we can't stick together, because we crowds. Because right now, as soon as you get something, you want to shine. So I agree with you. If I do this and you do that and you do that, now we starting a collective. If all four of us right now get together and say we're gonna focus on us being the best us we could be, and then it'll spread out. We put one person in, because a lot of times we think too big. And maybe that's the wrong thing, but I think we start thinking about all Black people just need to stick together.
Can't do that.
Well, how about all the people get them together, and then let's grow from there. And stop trying to get 1,000, get 10. Start with 10. That's how I feel. But I know everybody got to say it's the collective, and we need everybody. But I believe
need everybody.
Start with a little bit, and that keep growing, and that keep growing. Like Zay said, we might not see that our generation, but it might make it to my son's son generation from 10 people. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to start. That's my point. Right now, I'm just ready to. We have to start.
Yeah.
Listen, what Tom said something earlier. I think we said it this week in our production meeting, right? And one of y'all said for the first time, they hear us and they fear us. Because to be honest, right now America is on the brink of chaos. I will tell you, the day after the election, stay your A at home. I don't know what's going to happen. Whether win or lose, there's going to be some chaos in America the day after. So we're on the verge of a revolution in America. And for the spiritual people, we pretty much in revelation. That's just the honest truth. To people that's in the financial sector, I want to tell you that the dollar, get involved in some of these trending groups. Get you some stock, but get you some cryptocurrency. The dollar is going to fall. And for the people that we've been saying this, get you some crypto, because it's a world currency. Sorry to say, but the dollar, most of these wars and conflicts are about the dollar, where America's trying to make people keep the dollar. The dollar right now is not even worth $1. So get into that aspect. But to say something like what Chris is saying before we go, let's be proactive. Yes. What I mean by proactive, for once, as us, let's start building on our own, and maybe we'll get some more respect. I always tell y'all before, the LGBT, believe all of them people, they went, America's about money. We organized, collected, monetized, and then you'll say, well, dang, gay people got more rights in America than Black people, because they know the formula. They took the blueprint and they went forward with it. I hate as Black people, no, as Americans, that we proactive. Well, no, we reactive. Reactive because after the election, first thing we say, we want to talk about the Electoral College. Electoral College was based off the transition between non-slave states and slave states, right? When the group win an election, it's cool. When we lose an election, we need to change the Electoral College. Why do we still base our elections based off Electoral College and not the popular vote? But we only do that right before the election. So what have we been doing for 4 years, right? Second of all, something simple, legislation and laws. One of the biggest things, and I'm going to be publishing this week, this speech, and hopefully it gets published. One of the biggest issues in our country is this. A lot of stuff that's deemed legal in America, a lot of stuff that's deemed constitutional in America is morally wrong. One of the biggest enemies of Black people is the word probable cause.
Got me a comment too.
Breonna Taylor came down to an issue of probable cause. When you look at back all of these cases, those officers are using probable cause to justify a lot of stuff that they know they are morally they're morally wrong doing, and they're getting off with that term probable cause. So what do I say? Just like y'all be mad about presidential elections, be mad about the local elections when you electing your state senator, your city council, and your governor, because your state laws apply to you just as much as your federal laws. So probable cause, that's something that I want my locals to start changing, because probable cause, I think I smell marijuana. Probable cause, I think so and so was going on inside that house. Well, what was your backup? Probable cause means I had a educated guess, or I believe. I can believe that Zay doing XYZ. That is an issue, and that is a big problem in America. Probable cause. We got to tackle that, man. And we're not having those conversations. We too busy arguing about Trump or Biden. Let's start talking. Let's start winning the small fights first. That's my spiel for it.
That's what we here for, my brother. That's what we here for.
Yeah.
All right.
Each and every
Listen.
Monday night at 9 p.m. Tune in to the Black Super Friend podcast. I am Kane Chris, 1/4 of the Black Super Friends. Sorry for that shameless plug.
I want to read some of the comments. They always feared us. It's easy to miss 13% of the population when you can control the other 87%. They do. I mean, really.
Yeah.
And Chris, Latoya Ratliff is a very smart person. She has some great points that she added, especially about toxic masculinity early in the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, in the conversation. And when I can actually get a educated young mind like that to be able to be, unbiased and have that conversation, we definitely appreciate that. So didn't mean to go this long tonight, but I thought the conversation that we had tonight was impactful and it definitely needed to be said. We got to get Terrell on. We'll do it on a Tuesday night because I think
that Red Dude night or something.
Yeah, we're gonna
Well, we're
Mike,
gonna have a conversation with Latoya first.
Tuesday night. Yeah, whenever y'all ready, we can go straight into that with Latoya, because really,
Don't give her, my sister, the sexy interview like you did Nay Simone. We seen you licking your lips 50 times. Yeah, cool, Jay.
Man,
Yeah, don't be the producer, girl. We seen you, nigga. Taurus.
Negro.
You got a new talent. Well, Chris, lucky for you, you never have to worry about me being your in-law. Right. And it's because of you. So, you ruined that one. All right, guys. As we proceed, Mario, give us our parting words for the show.
I just want to say I appreciate everybody coming out, staying at home, doing whatever you did, watching on your phone. We just happy that you tuned in every Monday, because a lot of these people are repeat offenders. Y'all come every Monday to hear us heckle and jekyll over the air, and then y'all give us y'all point, and y'all really stay the whole time, even when we go. So we really appreciate y'all, and then understand that merch coming soon. And if you have some kind of business or something that you want to highlight for us, don't be scared to hit our inbox and let us know, because even if it's a person in the community or something that you know that's doing good, or that you want to did a good deed or something like that, we always want to spread good vibes. Like Chris said, that's changing the narrative. So the more positive examples we can get of Black people or any people who care about our culture is doing for us, we want to spread that. And then the merch is coming soon. It's on the way. The COVID is slowing down the mail.
It sure is.
Just believe it's on the way.
Yes.
It sure is. The latest man.
I'm gonna say thank you for coming out. I know it's Monday night. I know the Chiefs are playing. I know the Ravens are playing. You guys could have been watching that, but you're watching us. We appreciate you. For those of you who didn't get a chance to watch us and are gonna watch us tomorrow, I'm gonna say, listen, click share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Subscribe to the Black Super Friends podcast on our YouTube channel. Please do that. I'm going to leave you with something that I think's been tossed in the air several times throughout the podcast today. And I think that that's the focus on Black unity, more so over Black power. Because if we don't have the unity, we won't have the power, and it's still going to end in failure. Let's try to get on one accord, people, figure out who's going to have our best interests in hand and make our moves that way. But ultimately, thank you guys for coming out and listening to us back.
All right. Before
Chris?
I go to Chris, shout out to the Miami Heat for making the finals.
Ooh,
And
ooh.
shout out to King James, who is every year that he's went to the playoffs, he's went to the finals. So salute to the King, Lebanon, LeBron, James. Let's go Lakers.
You know what, too? Sorry about that. One of our good friends. No, this is serious. Real talk. One of our good friends, she's a 30th Street representative, native, very unfortunate situation this week. She would normally be chiming in, giving us her 2 points. She's suffering. We just want to say from the bottom of our heart, Shantae, we're mourning with you.
Absolutely.
We sorry that happened. No control, but God knows best. And I hope that those words can comfort and support you. We'll try to be there as best we can, Chris. I didn't want to leave that out though. She does
Yeah.
support us.
Prayer
Yeah,
to
we
the
will.
family. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I always like to celebrate Black excellence, especially Black male excellence. So I want to give a big shout out to Michael Jordan, who has got himself into NASCAR now. That is he's an owner in NASCAR. That is a big move for Black men, Black entrepreneurs. He's also his number one driver is Bubba Wilson, is also a Black race car driver. Secondly, I want to give a big shout out to Prime Time for being named the Jackson State head coach. I hope he gets a lot of
Huge.
recruits because he is from Florida State. And I don't care how bad we lost, we still Florida State.
Die hard.
Florida State Pinatas. That's what
It
we
don't
are.
matter.
We ain't
It don't
similar
matter.
this year.
Been there.
Respect the spirit.
All right. Well, guess what, guys? We got to talk backstage because we're scheduled to have a therapy Thursday this week. And we need to schedule the show that we will have with Latoya Ratliff, which will be challenging for me because there will be 2 Ratliffs on the screen at the same time. So I look forward to it. It should be good for ratings. So to everyone at home, hit watch party, hit share, and hopefully I will have merchandise in. It was shipped on the 22nd and it's still not here, but I definitely got some absolutely amazing apparel for the ladies. So in the meantime, Zay, you're gonna have to cut the sleeves off your shirt and rock what you got. All right. So see y'all guys next week.
Next week. No, we'll see them Thursday.